Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Mark's Photography Spot. This is the next in the series of the snapshots to photographs, a series of videos just talking about ways that you can improve your photography and hopefully get your camera out of auto and into a little bit more of the creative modes. And today I wanted to talk about, I guess is one of the age-old questions in the world of digital photography, and that is, do you shoot RAW or do you shoot JPEG? People have been going back and forth on this probably ever since digital cameras were created, and I've got some thoughts on it, so I wanted to give you my idea on the whole RAW versus JPEG debate. In my mind, there's really a primary reason that you want to shoot RAW the majority of the time over JPEG, and that is because shooting RAW gives you the ability to get the most out of your images at any point in the future. And let me explain that. RAW is essentially the digital negative that your camera takes. When you press the shutter button, the shutter opens up, light hits the sensor, and the camera takes that information from the sensor and puts it on the memory card. In a RAW file, it just basically takes all that information, puts it on a card, and doesn't do anything to it. A JPEG file is that same process, except there's a step in between. When it comes off the sensor, and between that and the card, the camera applies some processing steps to that image. Things like adjusting the white balance, the sharpness, the color balance, all that. And it does all that and then creates a file that is easily readable by just about anything. The JPEG format is a file that pretty much any computer, tablet, application can read, which is great. But the camera does all that inside the camera and then saves it in a file format on your card that is easy to read but also reduced down in size. Now this works great if you just want to take a basic picture and you don't really care about being able to manipulate that image or make adjustments to it, change things around, maybe enlarge it for printing, that type of thing. JPEG is going to work great for those types of situations, and I use JPEG. Probably 5 to 10% of the images I take are JPEG, and that's going to be stuff just kind of a real basic image that I just want to share with the world, and I'm not worried about getting the absolute highest amount of quality out of it, because to be honest, most of the time a basic JPEG is going to be a pretty decent image, okay? But the reason I shoot RAW the other 90-95% of the time is because I, as the photographer, want to have control over that image. I don't want the camera making those decisions. I want to be able to make those decisions for myself. So I shoot RAW, and then I manipulate the image from there. I make the adjustments to the white balance. I make the adjustments to the sharpness, to the noise reduction, to the color balance. I make those decisions using more sophisticated software that allows me to make those changes in a way that's going to be better overall, plus gives me the ability to make those changes over and over again without affecting the image quality. Now, the advantages of the JPEG, I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages to both. Advantages of the JPEG are, like I said, it's a file format that pretty much everybody, it's a standardized file format. Pretty much everything can read a JPEG. It's smaller, it's a little bit more portable, and it's easier to use on, just pop it in the computer, upload it to Flickr, Twitter, that type of stuff. A JPEG is going to be accepted 99.9% of the time. The disadvantages are to the JPEG that all the processing is done inside the camera, which means you as the photographer don't have a chance to make those adjustments to the image on your own. The camera's already made those adjustments. Now you can go in and change, the contrast or that type of thing on a JPEG, but you can't add back in the information that was taken out when the camera made those adjustments to create that JPEG file. That's the biggest disadvantage. On the RAW side of things, the biggest advantage is that you've got that negative. You've got that original image with all the information there essentially that you can manipulate and make decisions on for yourself. Disadvantages to the RAW format is, one, it's not a universal format. Each camera manufacturer tends to have its own RAW file type of designation. A Canon RAW is a slightly different format than a Nikon RAW. So you need specialized software in order to be able to read that RAW information and convert it into an image and make those adjustments. Now, fortunately, there's a lot of software out there to do that. Lightroom is one of the biggest, the biggest ones that a lot of photographers use that allows you to manage your images, plus make those conversions of the RAW file and save them as JPEGs or whatever. The other disadvantage is that RAW files tend to be a little bit bigger. That's not as big a deal as it used to be, but it is maybe something to think about if you have a small memory card and you want to get a lot of images. A JPEG you can cram more images on, but at the expense of image quality. So, bottom line, my recommendation to you if you're looking to improve your photography is shoot RAW as much as you can and take advantage of the software outside of the camera to manipulate those images and get the best out of each and every photograph that you take. Use JPEG when you want to get something quick and easy and get it shared with family or friends, or you're not really concerned about the ultimate image quality. JPEG will work fine for that, but if you really want to improve your photography and take advantage of the features that most cameras have, shoot RAW. Okay? I'd be really interested to see your comments on this. Just in the video, let me know what you think, how much you shoot RAW versus JPEG. I'd be really interested to hear. And then I'll also be doing some videos in the future talking about how to get the most out of those RAW images by using things like Lightroom. So stay tuned for that. Hope this was helpful, and until next time, we'll see you later. Happy shooting.